Starting December 10th, 2025, Australia is rolling out what many are calling a world-first social media law. People under the age of 16 will be blocked from holding accounts on a range of major social media platforms. This isn't just a gentle nudge or a parental control tool. It's a legally enforced restriction, and the responsibility falls squarely on the platforms themselves, not the young users or their families. The government has been firm that this shift marks a new era of digital oversight, one where companies can no longer rely on voluntary measures or vague promises to protect minors. Instead, they're being required to enforce real, structural changes that will reshape how millions of young Australians interact with the online world. Under the new law, age-restricted platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, Twitch, Threads, and Kick must take reasonable steps to prevent under 16s from opening or keeping accounts. Existing accounts held by minors will be deactivated, and new sign-ups from under 16s will be blocked. If platforms don't comply, they could be fined as much as 49.5 million Australian dollars. These measures are intended to send a message that online safety isn't optional or secondary. It's now a core requirement for operating in the country. The expectation is that tech companies will develop more advanced systems to verify user ages, monitor activity, and ensure that their platforms are truly off limits to younger teens. So, how will this age check actually work? The law doesn't force companies to verify every single user's age with government ID. Instead, platforms must offer reasonable alternatives. That means they might use a mix of technologies, like video selfies, age estimation tools, or other less invasive methods to detect under 16s.
The internet, as we know it, is changing forever in 2025. Age verification is coming everywhere, it seems. And in the latest example, we have OpenAI introducing ID checks for ChatGPT amid a lawsuit and Senate hearing. This is from Cyber News, and then on The Guardian, ChatGPT is developing age verification system to identify under 18 users. Sam Altman said if there is a doubt, the system will default to the under 18 experience, putting safety ahead of privacy and freedom for teens. So the days of us simply Googling things are coming to an end, with artificial intelligence taking over. While it may seem to help users get answers to their questions more quickly and efficiently, it's also proving to be a dangerous tool at times, according to Cyber News. Sam Altman has said that they're building an age prediction system to estimate age based on how people use ChatGPT. If it's unclear, they're going to default to an under 18 experience. And you may be asked to give your ID in certain cases and countries. So it looks again that you're going to be submitting your IDs to many, many websites around the world, including ChatGPT in the future. He said that this is for protecting teens. They want to prioritize safety ahead of privacy and freedom for teens. This is a new and powerful technology, and we believe minors need significant protection. So they're going to play it safe and default to the under 18 experience. In some cases and countries, they may ask for an ID. And he said, we know that this is a privacy compromise for adults, but believe it is a worthy trade-off. So the internet as we know it is changing dramatically. Looks like in future, you are not going to be able to access a whole bunch of websites on the internet unless you are age verified first. Your personal data is going to be out there. How long before personal information is leaked or hacked and then made available on the dark web? So it's a slippery slope, as I've said in previous videos. Big companies can implement this stuff, but small companies can't. Small websites can't. So they're simply shutting down. So the internet as we know it is changing dramatically in 2025. But what are your thoughts? I think from a privacy point of view, this is not good, the way things are going, the way that they are controlling the internet more and more across the world and wanting to implement stuff like client-side scanning in the EU, where they basically check all the messages that you send. I think I'm going to be going back to more analog devices in future, but what are your thoughts?
These approaches are designed to balance safety with privacy, allowing companies to identify younger users without collecting massive amounts of sensitive personal data. As technology improves, these tools are expected to become even more accurate, giving platforms better ways to catch underage users who try to slip through the cracks.
Google has started using AI to determine if you're an adult. According to the company, it will use things like search history and YouTube preferences. And if it deems you under 18, then you'll be restricted from using certain websites and have to upload your government ID to verify your age. The thing is, Google has been using your browsing data to verify your age for a while now. They do it for targeted advertising, and it's not always right.
Manage your Google account. Data privacy.
Well, it's not wrong. It's on the younger side, but it's not wrong. Not parents. Okay, fair enough. That's also accurate.
Yeah.
This is correct.
Male, that's me. 25 to Feb.
Oh, interesting. Not enough info. I guess I'm an old soul.
But this has no impact on what websites you can access, which is what's going to change with this new AI system. And Google isn't alone in this. Dozens of other platforms in different countries are rolling out similar measures due to new government regulations worldwide. And critics are worried about the digital privacy issues that come with uploading your ID to private companies. Make sure
Meta, which owns Instagram, Facebook, and Threads, has already begun notifying users aged 13 to 15 that their accounts will be shut down. They're sending warnings via in-app messages, email, and SMS starting December 4th, and aim to complete account deactivations by December 10th. Teenagers whose accounts are affected will have some options. They can download their data, delete their accounts, or come back once they turn 16. For many teens, this will be the first time they've been forced to step away from mainstream social media, and the transition may be challenging. Parents and guardians are being encouraged to support them through the adjustment and help them understand why the change is happening. Importantly, this law is not about cutting off all online access for these young people. Under 16s will still be able to access some parts of the internet. Services that are primarily about messaging or online gaming, like WhatsApp, Roblox, or Steam, are exempt. These platforms are seen as less harmful because they don't rely as heavily on infinite scroll feeds, algorithmic recommendations, or the social pressure dynamics that have become common on mainstream social networks. For YouTube specifically, while under 16s will no longer be able to have a full account, they'll still be able to browse and watch publicly available videos without logging in. This ensures they're not completely cut off from entertainment, education, or general online content. The government argues the move is about protecting the mental and emotional well-being of teenagers. According to lawmakers and child safety advocates, delaying account access gives young people more time to build digital, social, and emotional skills before facing the pressures of social media. The aim is to let kids grow up with healthier habits and better resilience, instead of being exposed too early to viral trends, online comparison, cyberbullying, or addictive algorithm-driven feeds.
This one is for the mums and dads. I know you're worried about the impact social media can have on young children, and so am I. That's why we'll introduce legislation this year for a minimum age for social media. I want kids to have a childhood. I want them off their devices and onto the footy field and onto the netball courts. I want them to have real experiences with real people. Together, we can get this done.
But it's not without controversy. Critics warn that age-checking tools may not be perfect and that some teens, especially those with disabilities, risk being cut off from online communities that provide critical support and social connection. There are also concerns about how reasonable steps will be interpreted in practice and whether platforms might take shortcuts. Some worry that companies may implement measures that are too weak to actually work, while others fear overly strict systems that gather too much personal data. Still, for all its critics, the Australian government is pushing ahead. They've launched a public awareness campaign under the slogan, "For the good of," urging parents to talk with their kids about the changes. Families are being encouraged to prepare early, discuss what the ban means, and explore alternative ways for teens to stay connected and entertained online. And behind it all is a clear message. The onus is on the platforms, not young users, to make the internet safer. The law marks a major turning point in how nations regulate social media. And whether it succeeds or struggles, the rest of the world will be watching closely.